Hey guys, it's Tommy CM. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to episode 12 of Lakeside Adventure. And this episode is going to be a very busy episode because the final country in the park that we are going to be building is going to be entirely built within this episode, believe it or not. It's a very, as I say, jam-packed episode. The final country of the park is going to be based around China. If you've not guessed from the Sky Temple ride I'm just about to put in. And this section of the park is going to be greatly assisted by the World's Fair DLC pack that was released last week for console edition. The reason I went for China is just because it stands out in terms of architecture, in terms of building, lighting, patterns, compared to the other three countries that are in the park, you know, compared to the US, Egypt and the Netherlands. And also, as I say, with the World's Fair pack being released, there was a lot more availability on the building side of things. Going back to why this episode's kind of all built into one, once I'd finished the Netherlands section, I looked at the build limit, the Oswald Eugene counter for that we get on console, tell us how much more space we've got to build in the park. Once I'd finished the Netherlands section, I built around 87%, I think I was at. That number rings a bell. So yeah, I'd got about 13% left to build the last area, and I was getting a bit nervous really, because I was thinking I don't want to have spent all this time building the other three areas for this last area to be, you know, to be sort of crammed in and sort of rushed or looking empty. So yeah, I was getting a little bit nervous about it, but I thought best thing to do is build the basics. So I wanted to get the plaza in, the pathing in there. I wanted a flat ride, and I had in mind the Sky Temple as the perfect ride to fit in there here, and I wanted this junior dragon coaster. Those were the three things I wanted to get in, and then I thought if I could get all those in, then I could theme around it, put buildings around it, put trees, move the terrain, do everything else around it until I was at the limit. And that was the way I thought was best to do it, because I didn't want to sort of build a roller coaster, theme it fully, and then not have enough room to do anything else in the area. So yeah, that's my that was my thinking on it. As you can see here, I'm just kind of finishing off the junior dragon coaster. Obviously dragons are a massive thing with China, so that's why I've opted for this. I do kind of shorten the train down, because I think the generic sort of 16-car train that Planet Coaster give you is a little bit long for a coaster, so I think I halve it down to 8 eventually and have 2 trains running. What I wanted to do as well is, it is sort of cheating, but it sort of isn't, because it's available as a blueprint. I wanted to put some of the Chinese buildings that were already in the game. I wanted to put some of them in as decoration and as useful buildings. I wanted the coaster sort of sweeping around the tall buildings there, just so it was interacting with the scenery a little bit. And that's what I've gone for. I've got paths going around the buildings as well, so people can go and explore them. So yeah, that was my idea there. I just wanted to sort of tidy up that, because I wanted the Sky Temple to be right on the edge of the lake. As obviously in the other parks, in the other sections of the park, we've got the hills. We've got the Rocky Mountain Hills for the coaster, we've got the pyramid, and we've got the windmill as the sort of big eye-catching attractions from other areas of the park. That's what I wanted the Sky Temple ride to be, because when that goes up in the air, it's a big sort of eye-catching piece. So yeah, that's what I was going for there. I wanted to just kind of put a few rocky hills around this China section. So I was just making sure the terrain kind of matched up with everything around there. Once I got all this in place, it was time to finally complete the railway. So yeah, this was quite a big moment, because this was the first ride we started off in episode 1. So to finally be joining the track up and getting the whole circuit ready was definitely a big moment in the park. So yeah, I was having a bit of difficulty here trying to level it up. So I had to sort of get the bend and the size of the bends right, because you can't have a small bend for a railway. But eventually I got there, as you can see there. We won't be riding that in this episode. I will be doing one final episode, which is sort of like a walkthrough of the park, and a kind of a look back as to what as to what I've put in, and then finishing that episode by having a ride on the railway to just go through the whole park itself, in daytime and at night time, so we can see the whole thing to effect. And yeah, that's my plan really for the railway, to show you what that looks like. As you can see here, I'm just kind of putting a station building on. Nothing too fancy, but again, we're using the walls that were given in the World's DLC pack, and again, I do like the design that this comes with. And you know, as I say, you can see at the bottom there now, I'm on 95% in terms of the build limit. Roller coasters take up a good proportion of the build limit, which is why it's now shot up so much. So yeah, I was conscious again that I've got no trees or rocks or scenery in this section yet, so I wanted to make sure that I was doing this sort of to a minimum, but also to a high standard, if you know what I mean, or you know, to a good enough standard that was kind of acceptable, that it didn't look too bland. So I just thought having this little station, having a few of these style wall lights, I thought did the job quite well. So yeah, this was just a case of getting this building right. And then once I'd done that, all I had to do really was place a few trees around to make it sort of like a bit foresty. Have a lot of lighting on the pathway, which you'll see coming up. Obviously in the China area, I do like these sort of curved up like roof corners, and I think that they do work on the buildings. Although it's quite repetitive, it does stand out a lot more than anything else really. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I'd got this station building right, because I mean, you know me, I don't like leaving a station building looking bland or open. I like to have something going off. Just had to adjust where that was on the corner. But yeah, as you can see, it doesn't take much to make a station building look fancy or look pretty in any way. It's very simple to do, and if you get it right, it just adds so much. So yeah, that's what I've done at this point, and then I just needed to basically lower the walls now to cover the supports below, because you could have the top bit there, but I just didn't want the supports on show, because I felt that kind of ruined the aesthetics of it. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be the final area. Thank you for watching. If you've watched any of the episodes up to now, or whether this is your first one, thank you for watching it as I've gone through this. I'm really pleased with it. It has turned out really well, and it's turned out exactly how I'd hoped really. To have the four different countries like that, blending in together, and having the railway going through all the areas. Decided as well here that the Rocky theme could like blend over the top through to the US area, so I just wanted to kind of paint that over, just so it didn't look sort of too separated. As you can see, there's some of the red lighting I've put in, just to kind of light up the China section at night. I'd put some lights around the bottom of the Sky Temple, so that shone up red, and I've got some lights going up the side of the lift hill on the Dragon train as well, just to light it up, so that if people, if you do want to have a look at this park, you can see it. You can see it lit up at night as well as in the day. Speaking of that, if you do want to open this park yourselves, if you do want to load it up and maybe change something, maybe remove something and do something else, or you can even go on and save any blueprints if you want to use the pyramid, if you want to use anything on here. This park is uploaded to the PS4 Frontier Workshop. Just search for Lakeside Adventure, and I'm sure you will find it. So yeah, if you do want to go on there, if you want to leave a rating for it, that'd be very much appreciated. If you want to get the rating up, if you do like it, or if you think it's terrible, give it a 1-star rating if you really think it's that bad. But please don't. So yeah, as I said, I just wanted to just kind of go around and put a few of these bamboo trees in here, a few different sizes, a few different styles, just to kind of mix it up, add a bit of colour into the area, because I think it looks very sort of brown, grey, and with a bit of red. So I wanted another strong colour in there, like a green. So yeah, I thought if I put a few of these bamboo trees in, it just kind of adds some something different really to the area, and then makes it stand out from a distance. And that's the whole point of altering the scenery really. Just to mix up the style of tree as well, I just went for this Tuscan cypress tree, just to kind of mix things up, and just so it wasn't like all of the same tree type of different sizes. So as you can see, that build count is going up to 96%. This is adding slowly, and this is the whole reason why I wanted to make sure the coaster and the flat ride and the pathing was all in first, because I can always take out the odd tree if that was too much. I could always take out the odd building and adjust it if necessary, but I can't really take out a coaster, because then that leaves the area with not really having a major attraction. So yeah, I think I did this the right way around, considering the limits I was under. So yeah, I mean, once we finish this series, I will be starting another park. I've not decided on any theme yet. So yeah, I've not decided on any particular theme or story. But I will be wanting to experiment with a different style of park. Probably won't be country themed as much, but it will. I'll be doing my best to kind of build a park on a similar level of detail to this. Here I'm just putting a few red lights around the coaster, just so once it's off the lift hill chain, it's not sort of floating around in darkness. And then at the same time, I wanted to, as I've done in the previous sections, I wanted to light up the railway again, so the railway wasn't just kind of going around in pitch black. I wanted it to be lit up and interactive, as I've said, throughout the whole area, so that you never feel like you're on the train away from the rest of the park really. So yeah, really pleased with the lighting. As you can see, we've got the lantern, the lantern strings in the middle, and I think that really does add to the effect for this section of the park. I wanted to put a few stores in, a few food and drink stores, just to offer some some food and drink outlets to the customers really. So yeah, I thought I'd put in a chow mein store, again going with that Asian sort of cuisine. Sushi, I know it's more Japanese, but it was more sort of Asian style of food, because this is the only Asian section of the park. So yeah, I just wanted a few of them and a toilet block, because we've not got one in the China section yet. So yeah, this was just a sort of bespoke building, and I do put on a few vending machines at the side of here, just to kind of offer a few more variety of outlets for food and drink really. But yeah, I mean this is coming towards the end now, so it's at the end of this episode we'll be having a point of view ride on the Dragon Coaster, which when you see it, I am really pleased with how that works. For a junior coaster, you got to remember that the Dragon Coaster isn't, it's not a thrill seekers ride. It's one that's made for sort of family friendly fun. It's not it's not there to get the thrill level and the fear rating up, but it is one to excite sort of parents and kids in the park. So yeah, that's why I'd gone for that. Just at the back of here, I wanted to put the vending machine in, but at the same time I didn't want to just like plonk it at the end where you could just see behind the back. So I thought I'd alter the shape of this building slightly, so that you could sort of you could sort of see it leaning onto it, and the building itself as well from a distance doesn't just look like a square building. It looks slightly different. So yeah, that's all I was doing here, was just sort of altering the shape of the building, and yeah. So I mean, in terms of what I'm pleased with the most in this park, I'm pleased with I think my favourite area of the park in terms of the way it looks. I quite like the Netherlands section because of the neat style buildings, and the mini canal we've got going off there. I know the Netherlands isn't quite as big as the US and the Egypt area, but with the buildings, etc., I'm quite pleased with that. In terms of the Egypt area, I really happy with the idea of the pyramid with the roller coaster inside. I think the pyramid looks fantastic in the daytime when you come into the park. the view from the entrance, it really does stand out. And then the US area, I'm really pleased with Rush, the floorless roller coaster that we put in there straight off. One of the first major rides we put in, and I think that does its job brilliantly. And as I say, there's nothing in this park that I'm not happy with. If I wasn't happy with it, I wouldn't have kept it in. I wanted to make sure that this was a park I was going to be pleased with. Here, obviously, I'm just putting in the queue line. I wanted it to be a little bit extended throughout, and I just had to alter these trees just so that the queue line could fit in without, so you could, people could queue up without getting hit by different branches. I wanted to put a bit of a queue line sign on here, so I just had to adjust where these posts were going. And as you can see at the bottom there, my build counter is now at 99%, so I am about at the limit of the build on console. So for anyone watching on PC and you want to know what the build limit is, this is the sort of limit we've got. I personally, I think if you were going to make a huge park, if I wanted to make a park that had, I don't know, 6 areas in, I would struggle. If I wanted to make a massive park, yes, you are going to struggle. If you're building areas like me, I mean, as you can see, I've only got 2 rides in this section. However, I've gone in depth on the scenery. You could go on and build loads of different rides, not go into the scenery detail as much, but it's that sort of balance. You've got to work out: do you want to go for the theming? Do you want to go for the rides? And you just got to work that out really as to what you prefer. And I think once you get used to it, once you've built a few parks to the limit, you sort of tend to know what you can and can't get away with. Here, obviously, I'm just linking up the paths finally. I have paused it here, so there's no guests going to be jumping between different areas of the park. So now, obviously, the same as what I've done in all the other sections. I'm just building a short little out. It's not even a building really. It's more of like a little canopy to walk under, just to kind of say welcome to this area, welcome to such and such, or you're now leaving such and such and going to this area. So yeah, I wanted this to just kind of say welcome to China, and then on the other side obviously it's going to say welcome to the Netherlands. And then I've just had to copy this style of building, put it over the other side, because obviously now we're linking up 2 ends. We're going to the main entrance side of things, so we've got one that says China and the main entrance as well. So really pleased with the whole thing really. As you can see just in the background there, I think the lighting for the Chinese area there does look really good, and I'm very fortunate that they decided to release the World's Fair DLC just as I was getting around to this section of the park, because it means that I was able to use the facilities there to kind of bring the area to life really. I don't think I'd have chosen China if I didn't have the DLC pack. So here we are, just finishing off the signage, and then I just needed to copy this building over and just kind of carry it over to the main entrance over here, which at the minute it thinks I'm trying to edit one single building, so I just need to split it from the building just so I could move it freely. So if I put that there and then just change the Netherlands sign to a main entrance one, and then it's time to open up the park. And I will put this on maximum capacity, so there will be up to 4,000 guests in here. But before that, we will take a ride on the Dragon Coaster, just so you can see what it's like, and we will watch it in chase mode, just so you can get a good view of it really. And there we go. As I say, nothing too extreme, nothing too intense. Just you know, just entertaining enough to get the guests, you know, involved and get the guests kind of coming over to the China area. So yeah, that is going towards the end of this episode. Obviously, just switched it there to night time, just so you can get a good view of the park. And yeah, I mean, thank you for watching that. We've built all of that in one episode, which is quite impressive, really. So yeah, I will be back with one final episode in this park to just have, as I say, a general overview of the park, and we'll finally get to ride the railway around the whole of the circuit. So yeah, thank you for watching that. Please like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.